Channel 1.
If you're looking for a wireless or driveway alarm, this may be of interest to you. I will leave links in the description below for this alarm. There's a company called HOSMART. Now these do some long-range rechargeable wireless driveway motion alarms. In the past I have had the opportunity to try out their motion alarms and have found them extremely good, so have decided to buy a set of 4. If you do not need as many sensors, you can buy either 1, 2, 3 or 4. Normally you would only get 1 receiver. This is expandable. You can buy extra receivers for different rooms if required. There is a very small amount of work to be done on each of the small transmitters or sensors. There are 4 parts of this that need to be assembled. The receiver is already pre-built for you. All you need to do is either put batteries or connect a supply to it. The instruction leaflets and manual are very easy to follow and are in various languages. I would suggest that you read through the manual before you start doing your assembly. There are a couple of things that you do need to do before assembling each of the sensors. Everything is in good English and also in picture format for the assembly. The sensor colour can either be coffee or tan. The maximum size of the sensor is 3.68 by 3.1 by 4.15 inches. As you would expect from one of these units, they are made from industrial grade PVC. The charging port on the bottom has a rubberized water resistant seal. Inside the main body, the circuit board, battery, antenna and switches to control the unit can be found here. During transportation, the battery is disconnected. You will need to plug this in. The plug and socket will only fit in one way. The backplate is designed to fit snugly over the main body. There is an area top and bottom which will hold the battery in place when the unit is assembled. Around the outer edge there is a seal. This is a tongue and groove arrangement. This is so designed to stop any water ingress when the unit is used outside. The main body and cover are held together by 4 self-tapping screws. These, along with any other screws and connectors that you need, can be found in the small plastic bag. It was good to see that each of the screws provided are rust-proof. The mounting plate has 2 functions. It will either screw to a fence, tree or brick wall. This also connects onto the sensor unit using a ball and socket arrangement. This will enable the easy adjustment of the orientation of the sensor unit. When the unit is finally assembled, a sun hood is fitted. This also helps prevent against any water ingress. A Phillips head screwdriver is provided. This will fit all the screws inside your kit. The P sticker on the back indicates the factory setting or pairing that was used. This can be changed if required. Okay, it's time to start assembling and setting up the first sensor. The rechargeable battery is a 2000 mAh at 3.7 volt. The switches on either side of the battery are to change the sensitivity of the sensor and also the channel number being used by that sensor. The sensitivity switch on the left when high is either 30 foot or 9 meters, mid 1 25 foot or 8 meters, mid 2 is 20 foot or 6 meters and low is 15 foot or 4.5 meters. The default is set to high. This can be adjusted when you fitted your alarm and do your testing. If you need to reduce it, you can do so. The switch on the right of the battery is to change the channel number. If you have 4 sensors, you have a different channel for each of the sensors. That concludes the sensitivity setup and channel selection for that sensor. Before screwing on the backplate, ensure that A, the battery is connected, B, that you have got the sensitivity selected that you want. You may need to change that later on during testing, and finally the channel selected. Check that the joint between the top and bottom are sealed correctly. And remember, you're screwing into plastic, so do not over tighten the screws. You will find some rubber stoppers inside the plastic bag inside your kit. Use one on each of the screw holes. These are to help stop any water ingress. For my own personal use, I numbered each of my units 1, 2, 3 and 4. It's time now to fit the mounting plate. Inside your kit you will find a swivel plate and a swivel screw. Assemble the ball and socket arrangement as shown. Remember not to over tighten the ball and socket, as this does need to move when you're making your adjustments. The USB lead and charger are provided. The lead is approximately 2 meters in length. One end has a USB-A plug that plugs into the charger. On the other end is a micro USB that plugs into the sensor to charge up the battery. It is important that each of the sensor batteries are fully charged before use. It will depend on how much charge is in the battery. These can take up to 4 hours with a flat battery. When charging, the sensor window, the LED, will turn blue and extinguish when fully charged. A fully charged battery can last up to 12 months depending upon their usage. On either side of the ball and socket arrangement you will find a couple of small pegs that will enable you to push on the top cover. The top cover arrangement has a clip which will in sympathy fit over the ball and joint socket area and click into position. A small amount of force may be required to do this. You will hear it click into position when correct. This concludes the assembly of the sensor unit. Do the same for any other sensor units that you have inside your kit. The alarm receiver is very cleverly designed. Size wise it's 3.9 inches by 3.1 inches by 1.1 inches thick. The case is made from industrial grade PVC and is black in colour. All the LED indicators and buttons are on the front. The battery compartment is on the back. On the top is a micro USB power socket. A power adapter is provided, also the appropriate USB lead. On the back of the receiver there is wall hanging mounting hole, or you can use 4 rubber feet and place it on top of a table. One feature I do like about this receiver is its antenna. It is adjustable. Normally you would have this pointing upwards. There are 4 LEDs, one for each of the sensors. Power on indicator with power on and off button and volume up and down. And finally a motion sensor low battery indicator. On the top is a micro USB power input socket. This would normally have your power adapter plugged into this socket. When switched on, the power LED will glow. One thing you must note, if you have no batteries inside the receiver, when the power plug is removed the receiver stops functioning. If you are prone to power outages, this can be a problem, but all is not lost as it does have battery backup. The batteries here can be alkaline batteries, not rechargeable, as it will not recharge them. Now they do not provide you with the batteries, you will need to provide your own. A total of 4 AA batteries are required. Make sure you put the batteries in correctly, positive to positive, negative to negative. These batteries are only used as a backup. If you had batteries only with no power supply, they will only last approximately 2 weeks. So it is advisable to have the power supply connected at all times. As a way of a demonstration here, the unit switched off at the moment. Plugging the external power supply in and switching on the unit, the power is provided to the receiver in the usual way through the power socket. When the mains supply is removed, the receiver will stay on using the backup batteries. This is an extremely useful feature for myself as we have many power outages in my area. Okay, so where's the best place to put your receiver? To be honest, it can be anywhere, as long as the antenna is pointing vertically. I've tried it in many positions, tables, shelving, on the wall, and I've never had an issue. It always works. For me, the best place is hanging on a shelf, not on this shelf, but using the screw and hanging it as shown. Okay, so what does it look and sound like when in operation? I'm going to step through each of the channels so you can see.
Channel 1.
Each channel activated, the LED will flash 6 times.
Channel 2.
there is a different tune for each channel.
Channel 3.
More than one channel can be activated at any one time.
Channel 4.
Don't forget you can increase or decrease the audio to nothing to suit your needs. They do suggest fitting the sensors between 1.5 to 2.1 meters in height. While playing around, I've had these up as far as 4 meters in height and as low as half a meter. I know the manual gives you optimum height, but as with any instructions, it is open to a little bit of interpretation, so I don't think there is any hard and fast rules. I've tried the sensors in many places, and as long as they cover the area of interest, I don't think it really matters. What they do suggest is not to have them pointing at the sun. That I can understand. Remember, just a little bit of thought and care where you're going to put your sensors, where movement would be detected. The sensors in the real world should last up to about a year. The question is, do you take them down, bring them in and charge them up, or do you use a portable power supply or a little power bank to charge up each of the sensors? The power bank works well. The power bank is an easy way to charge up. As with the main supply, when the blue light goes out, the receiver is charged. The sensor here is about 100 meters away from the receiver. This is located on the other side of the house.
Channel 2.
The sensor's triggered twice.
Channel 2.
The sensor detects both coming and goings.
Channel 2.
Slow moving will sound off twice.
Channel 2.
It will not matter whether the vehicle is large or small, it will be detected.
Channel 2. Channel 2.
Remember, wherever you put your sensor, make sure that it's not in amongst any trees or anything can move in front of it, as you will start to get false triggering. For faster moving vehicles, the sensor will only trigger once.
Channel 2.
As before, it will not matter if the vehicle is going or coming on or off the property.
Channel 2.
If the sensor is too close to a road or footpath, it can be falsely triggered by passing traffic.
Channel 2.
So do keep this in mind when placing your sensors. I did notice on a couple of occasions when it's very cold outside and the car is cold that the sensor didn't detect the car when moving, as the sensors uses heat for detection. Before you leave me any messages asking will all the sensors work at the same time, the answer is yes, they will. The LEDs will flash in sympathy with each of the channels that are triggered. The last channel triggered, that is the audio that you will hear. Personally, I found that the LEDs were a little bright, so I put a small bit of tape on the power LED to cut the brightness down, then printed out a small piece of paper with the line 1 to line 4, what they actually were, and stuck those over the LED, and the LEDs shone through that to indicate what was triggered. I know it probably seems a little strange putting stuff on that you've bought, but I just found this a lot easier for me, and it indicates quite easily and simply what is actually triggered in what area. There will be some instances where you would not want the red LED flashing inside the sensor. So what the makers have done, they've made channel 1 and number 2 where the LED will flash when motion is detected, and channel 3 and 4 where it will not. I have been using the sensors now for quite a while, and to be honest I wouldn't be without them. I find them extremely useful, easy to fit and well worth having. The distance that the sensor and the receiver work away from each other, they do suggest up to half a mile, but that'd be in open ground and nothing in the way in any way. Some time ago I did have a set from the same company which were solar powered. I will leave a link in the description below to that video as well. I hope you found this information of use to you. Thank you for watching.